Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Collar Leadership and Culture, the 5 components for building high-performance teams. Mac and I are excited to welcome you to this video series.
So the subtitle of this book is the 5 components for building high-performance teams. And so high-performance cultures support high-performance teams. So as we get started, I just want to let you know this course, this content, this book, I wrote this, the intended audience is the top-level leader, the CEO or the business owner. So this book is intended as a blueprint, a roadmap to help you actually navigate cultural transformation. But again, even though it's intended for the top leader, the CEO, the top decision maker, if you're enrolled in this course and you are the top leader or the CEO, don't hesitate to allow anyone in your organization to go through this, because they're going to get value out of it. And they're also going to be able to understand what you're trying to do in the organization. And if they understand what you're trying to do in the organization, they're going to be positioned to help you do it.
Right. Culture is just a collection of the impact of the choices that every individual makes. And it comes down to how we're interacting with our team members, how we're interacting with our customers, what attitude do we come to work with, right? Culture is impacting and determining these things, and vice versa. Every individual is impacting the culture, but it's really determined by the leader. Again, what the leader is tolerating, allowing, or creating.
It's easier to compete if you're attracting and retaining top talent instead of searching for good people. We speak and train all over the United States and beyond, and we interact with a lot of people. And one common thing we hear a lot of leaders saying is how hard it is to find good people. And that's an indicator of maybe they got a lot of room to improve their organization, because the best led organizations, they don't have a lot of trouble finding good people, because good people are waiting to get in their organization. Yes. So we're going when trust goes down, speed will also go down and cost will go up. When trust goes up, speed will also go up and cost will go down. And that's trust is the foundation for building a high impact culture, for building a high performance team. What do you think about that quote from Covey, or anything on trust as we kick this off?
Well, I think it's absolutely true, right? And we have to have trust in an organization if we want a high performance team, because if the team doesn't trust each other, they're not going to be willing to do the extra things that can take you to the next level and beyond, right? The over and above, the inch, the extra mile, the extra inch, right? Because what we see is when you have a high-performance team, there is a high degree of trust.
So as a high-impact leader, especially if you're in a top, when we talk about the org chart, if you're at the top of the org chart, that's got to be one of your number one goals relative to creating the kind of culture we're going to talk to you about in this series. You've got to build a high-trust culture. You got to build trust between you and all of your team members, but you got to help them build trust between each other. And the kind of leadership that Rhea and I are going to talk to you about throughout this course and all of our other courses is about helping you develop the character of the people in your organization.
Sure.
Because this type of leadership has got nothing to do with the org chart. The org chart has everything to do with management, but very little to do with leadership. Everyone on the org chart should be a leader. If you got a high impact culture, you got a high performance team, then pretty much all the folks on your org chart are going to be high impact leaders. But I'm not talking about high impact managers. High impact managers can get a lot of really, really good results, but high impact leaders build trust and develop relationships with the people. They're able to unleash their team's potential. But the majority of what we're trying to do here is to provoke thought, to get you or to help you think about things that you maybe haven't thought about in the way that we're going to talk about them, to help raise your level of awareness so that you actually do want to go out and transform your culture. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the culture that you have. What does Michael Josephson say? We share it in every time we talk, but it is key as we kick off this course.
Yeah, Michael Josephson says you don't have to be sick to get better, right? There's nothing wrong with you, but none of us have to be sick to get better, to grow and improve.
And we're talking about it in this context as the entire culture of the organization. Mm-hmm. But it also could be you as an individual leader. Let's look at letter B. The level of engagement below in your notes, got a blank right there. The level of engagement below is determined by the level of engagement above.
So research shows us that people who follow a leader because they want to, and they are highly engaged because they are following a leader who is leading, those people are 40% more productive when they follow a leader because they want to. So as a leader, if I'm looking around at my organization or my team and I'm saying they're not where I want them to be, then I, as the leader, need to take a good hard look at the mirror and say, what is it about my values that I need to change, right? Because my team is exactly where I've led them. They can't be anywhere else.
But the culture of an organization can be traced back to a single root cause: the top leader's values. So I want to talk to you right now, the top leader of the organization. Whatever the culture is in your organization, it's a direct reflection of your values. But until you value developing yourself, you're not going to value developing the character of other people.
And that brings us to letter G. Until a leader values developing the character of those on their team, they won't develop the character of those on their team.
Yep. So until you value developing your character, you're not going to develop your character.
Right.
Until you value developing the character of those on your team, you're not going to develop the character of those on your team.
Right.
Because right now, if you in this moment, before you even turn this on, if you valued developing the character of those on your team, then those on your team have already been going through character development. If you're just telling yourself you value it, but you're not doing it, you really don't value it. You're just thinking about it. Thinking about something, saying you value something, and actually valuing it's two different things.
So I love this quote here by Jim Blanchard. He says, I think the most important and difficult thing is to create a culture in the organization where leadership is really important. It's important for people in the company to realize that this is a growth-oriented company, and the biggest thing that we have to grow here is you, because it's you who will make this company better by your growth. Those who work in the organization determine who wants to work in the organization. And that's because who we are is who we attract, right? If I'm going for a job interview and I don't have shared values with the person who's interviewing me, I'm probably going to pick up on some of that right away, even in the interview process. And if I don't feel like there's a values fit, I might not even be able to say what I don't like or what makes me uncomfortable. But if I don't feel like there's enough of a mutual values fit, I'm not going to be wanting to accept a job in that organization. And vice versa, right? If you are the interviewer and you feel like there's not a great character fit or not a great values fit, you won't want to offer that person even the opportunity. So it's critical to understand that whoever is doing that selection process, that hiring process, has to have a high degree of character, because who we are is who we attract.
If you want better leaders in your organization, you need to develop the leaders already in your organization. Seems like common sense, and it is, but it's not common practice, because a lot of top leaders, a lot of formal authority leaders want better leaders in the organization, but they don't do any development. And you may have not done it before, but hopefully you're listening to this because you're getting ready to do it.